Hello and welcome back to another episode. Today we are talking about the US Mint's American Silver Eagles, premiums, and some of the hidden attributes of the Silver Eagle that justifies a higher premium. Stay tuned. Before we begin, please take a moment to like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you. For our audiences who haven't kept up with the price movements of specific coins, we're going to do a quick overview of what's been going on with Silver Eagles and silver in general. Following the lockdowns in 2020, there was a huge surge in demand for precious metals that has sustained into the present day. We're still seeing elevated demand for bullion, and we're not expecting that to decline anytime soon to pre-2020 levels. This surge in demand affected many commodities. Viewers may recall that at one point lumber was over 4 times more expensive than it used to be, for example. Silver was also impacted. Not only does silver have a lot of industrial use, whose demand was bolstered by trillions of dollars in stimulus money, but there was also a sharp uptick in demand for silver bullion. The US Silver Eagle has traditionally carried a slight premium over other sovereign mints, but it got out of hand when the US Mint was unable to procure enough blanks to fulfill demand. Premiums skyrocketed and remained elevated for years. Recently, the supply-demand imbalance has corrected and premiums have dropped back down in line with historical norms. Today, we can commonly purchase Silver Eagles for a slight premium over a Britannia or a Maple, for example. If you're newer to metals and don't understand spot prices or premiums, here's a quick primer. Spot price is the value of the underlying base metal. If spot is $20 per troy ounce, then that's what the silver is worth. On top of that, you have premiums, which is the markup from the spot price that pays for the mining, the minting, and keeps retailers in business. Just as you're paying a premium for the product, we're paying premiums from our suppliers as well. Without premiums, there can be no market because there's no financial incentive to work. Premiums exist in every country and every currency, so there's no escaping it. But the premiums will vary depending on supply and demand for specific coins. So when thinking about spot and premiums, you want to think of those as two separate things that make up the total price. Supply and demand imbalance in silver will affect the underlying base metal. Supply and demand imbalance for a specific coin will affect the premiums, but not spot. This is why a coin with a limited mintage, like proof coins for a popular series, may have extremely large premiums and a larger total price tag. It's also why the Silver Eagle had higher than normal increases to its premiums above and beyond the increases that coins like Britannia's experienced. This is an important point, because while you can have a premium on the buy side, some coins have premiums on the sell side as well, meaning the dealer will give you a premium for certain coins. So you, the individual investor, can profit from premiums depending on what you invest in and when you decide to sell. And this brings us to our 2 reasons why we think elevated premiums on Silver Eagles are justifiable. Now, mind you, we're considering the case for Eagles with premiums in line with the historical norms. Think an extra 50 cents premium. The downside to a higher premium must be addressed first for us to continue. Your spread will be higher on a Silver Eagle if you are buying it for a higher premium and selling for the same price as what you would sell a Britannia for. Absolutely, that is a potential risk of paying for commodity that carries a higher premium. However, recent history also shows that Eagles have potential upside that other coins don't have. APMEX not only sells coins in bars and rounds, but we also buy them back. And for a stretch of time, we were offering $10 over spot to customers who wanted to sell their Silver Eagles. Now, this spawned some amusing conversations and forums. Some people thought we had the inside track on a massive silver shortage and were preparing for a collapse in inventory. And it's amusing because the real reason is so much more boring than that. We weren't anywhere close to having an out-of-stock situation, but we've seen other companies over the past few years go through that exact problem. And putting together a competitive buyback for a popular product was just good business practice to improve our own supply chain. We weren't the only ones out there doing that either. We know others were also offering elevated premiums for Silver Eagles. But the point is, you could sell Silver Eagles for $10 over spot when spot was $25. So if you'd been acquiring Silver Eagles for years when spot was around $15 an ounce and premiums were lower, you had an opportunity to just about double your investment. Britannias and Maples, Krugerrands, and all these other coins, they did not get that additional sell premium. It's possible we could see another surge in demand from some black swan event that causes another supply-demand imbalance. And if that happens, potential sell opportunities for Silver Eagles with an increased payoff for you could reappear. So that's point one. Silver Eagles do have the potential for great upside when you go to liquidate at the right time. And point two, related to the demand for Silver Eagles, is the ability to liquidate. Silver Eagles are always in high demand, and that's important for when you go to sell. Purchasing a silver round from a little-known mint does carry some risk with it. The risk being that you bring it to a local coin shop and they don't want to buy it, or they offer below spot. There's a sound reason for this, and it's not personal. If you're running a coin shop, you have money tied up in inventory, and you have liquid cash meant to handle the day-to-day running of the business. You want to keep a certain amount of money in cash instead of inventory, because you need to be able to both buy and sell. Customers may stop coming to you to buy things if they come back in one day and you can't buy back when the time is right. If you have a cash position that's very strong and you're light on inventory, you might be willing to take on an unusual coin or bar, providing you can prove it's authentic. But if your cash position isn't that strong at the moment, you're probably only interested in buying back from regular customers or buying inventory that you know will turn over very quickly. It's not a problem to lock up a little bit of cash in something like Silver Eagles if you know that's going to be cash again in a week. Now, most coin shops out there are not going to say no to a sovereign mint coin. I don't think anyone's going to have a problem buying a Britannia, unless there are unusual circumstances. You might not get the same sell premium, but that's okay. You're still probably going to sell it just fine. Where you might run into some difficulties if you decide you want to sell in a peer-to-peer transaction to cut out the middleman, get the most return on investment possible. There is a healthy secondary market built around facilitating peer-to-peer transactions, and there are some people who deal exclusively in this market. However, it does require some legwork and has some risk. It's not for everyone. And in this market, you might find it's just easier to sell Silver Eagles than it is anything else. Because scams are a real thing in many industries, including precious metals, there is a preference for coins that are familiar and easier to verify over something that's a bit more unusual. And again, having a popular coin will help you in this market. Silver Eagles are likely the most liquid silver product in the United States, which itself has some value. If you're intending to hold your silver until an emergency and only sell in an emergency, then you should be concerned about how easy it is to sell. If you're planning to hold onto your silver stockpile and pass it along as inheritance, you may want to consider the level of effort your heirs will have to go through to liquidate the silver as well. If they're familiar with precious metals, you might not have to worry too much. If they're not, then consider investing mostly in coins and bars that are easy to identify and sell, like the Eagles. And if you're planning to be buried with your silver, please consider first that someone spent too much time extracting it from the earth to have it go right back in. To wrap things up, the two main benefits that Silver Eagles have over other coins that justify the higher premiums are its liquidity and the potential for greater upside during periods of a supply-demand imbalance. That's all we have for you today. Please remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.